All right, let's see. It's not going yet. Yep. Let's see.
Now we're live?
Not yet. You are.
Yeah, that audio came through your
All right,
laptop.
let's see. That's so weird.
Facebook and YouTube, it's probably getting it through the mic too.
Yeah. You are.
You know, I'll mute your laptop.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is our third live stream, and we've got more great questions from you that we're going to go through each one of them. Please keep commenting, and we'll monitor the comments, and we will answer every single question that we can answer. And if we miss one, we're going to be back again, or we will answer them in the comments as well.
Also, before we get started, if the sound quality, we're still kind of getting the feel for this. So if the sound sounds good, let us know. If there's something we need to improve with the sound, let us know. Looks like we're doing good. All right.
Yeah, we got
awesome.
Good. Everybody can hear us. So you might notice that we've got a new scene here. We like to move it around and switch things up a little bit. Welcome to our facility. This is our warehouse, and we're actually standing on the mezzanine where we, what do we do up here?
Assemble all of our cables.
Yeah, cable assembly and engineering and everything. So this is my, well, Jared was saying earlier, this is our favorite view of our facility, of our building. Jared, how does this compare to where we started?
From one room that was about 15 by 22, I'd say, to this, it's been quite a move. So I remember when we first actually moved into this building, we walked up here and I felt like it would be a good fit for our company. And then we walked up and saw the mezzanine and looked out. It was kind of like one of those moments where, as a small business that's growing, you really feel like you're moving up. So yeah. It's a cool place for us.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump in here just really quickly for everyone who's joining us for the first time. Now, for all of you, I don't want to call you old timers, but all of you are part of the Inergy team. Thank you for being here. We're gonna give the new people a little bit of information. There are a lot of people that are still asking us, like, what are you doing? What does your product do? What is a solar generator? A lot of people don't like to call it that, and we understand. We call them solar power stations, portable solar power stations. So, and specifically about the Flex, how would someone use the Flex today? And that's a small question with a big answer. There's a lot of potential, a lot of possibilities that for the Flex. Just starting off, emergency preparedness, even just being ready for a minor power outage, or anything from a minor power outage to a multi-day power outage. You can power refrigerators, you can power medical devices like a CPAP or an oxygen concentrator, lights, fans, freezers. Man, there's just so much. What am I missing? For emergency preparedness, basically you can power everything, but really like your heaters and your air conditioners.
Yeah, that's a pretty good scope.
Okay. Off-grid lifestyle. What can you power with if you live in an off-grid lifestyle?
Well, so that's probably going to be what I use the product for the most, obviously, because I love doing. I'm an outdoorsman. I do everything I can outdoors, and I think the real appeal there is going to be off-grid lights, off-grid power for appliances. We talked about this on our last couple live streams, but there's a company out there named Road Pro. We're trying to partner with them actually right now, so hopefully we'll have a lot more of their stuff coming online with us shortly. But there's a whole ecosystem out there of 12-volt appliances that you can power off-grid that are incredibly energy efficient, from refrigerators, coolers that are actually battery powered or electrically powered. There's coffee makers. There's entertainment systems, crock pots. There's hot plates, any number of different off-grid appliances. I use it a lot for charging my phone, all my portable electronics, my cameras, a lot of my gear. It's pretty funny when I go camping off-grid because it's not camping. In fact, my son we were camping this last weekend, and my son made a joke about it being glamping, and he's 10, so I don't know where he picked that up, but it is totally a glamping device.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay.
It's okay. You can take power with you when you camp if you want to. You can also rough it if you want to.
That's right.
You know what? And on Road Pro, coming up here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to release a video, and it actually my wife used a crock pot in our trailer on DC to power or to cook some minestrone for dinner, and it worked great. And it I can't remember exactly how much power it used, but I was amazed at how little power it used for something that actually cooks, a heat generating device. So there's van life. So we've already talked about emergency preparedness, off-grid, van life, or RV living. That Road Pro can also play big into that. People living in the van life love DC 12-volt appliances. What am I missing there? Anything, Jared, on van life?
No, it's a lot of the same stuff for like the off-grid lifestyle. Again, just a lot of 12-volt appliances because, again, vans are built for 12-volt power. So a lot of the accessories that they use to empower their lifestyle are also 12-volt.
Yeah.
Which is where a product like this really helps supplement, because you don't want to always be using your cabin battery. You want to have a different source of power that you can use and recharge using the sun instead of having to run your van all the time, or a gas generator.
Yeah.
So.
And really quickly, like the Flex DC, it has a higher amperage output for DC power, and 2 Anderson power pole. One of those is regulated, and my wife also uses that to power a ham radio. These are going to be great applications for ham radio users if you want to be mobile or if you want to have backup when the power goes down. So really quickly, we've talked about this before, but people are still asking, who is Inergy? We are an Idaho company. We are based here in Pocatello. And we are working hard to help you guys get renewable power wherever you need it, whenever you need it. And the one thing I will say about our team here is you will get the best customer service experience, I think, in our industry.
Absolutely agreed. I know that's a focus that a lot of people put on, that they promote, but our team spends so much time actively training and everything. If you call our 800 number, you're going to talk to a professional. It's going to be better versed in this category and its uses than I think anybody in our industry by a landslide. That's something we've taken a lot of pride in, and we help our customers a lot with that kind of stuff. Even if it's not helping them, if it's using our products to power their lifestyle, we'll help you out. So if it's obscure questions about, can it power this, can it do this, what can it do, what can't it do, our team's got that. So
Jared, here's another one that came in, and this is we don't get this one very often, but when somebody does ask it, it's pretty meaningful. Why does Inergy do business?
That's a great question. So that one's kind of near and dear, I think, to us here, because really it's about, we believe that every person on earth has limitless potential if given the right tools to succeed. And a lot of folks in disaster areas, or even developing nations, or even people who just want to have an off-grid lifestyle, they need power to help facilitate that opportunity for success. Power is the basic building block of everything that we do in our modern society. So really, we're in business to help power the next step. It's to help somebody improve, whatever their life is. We want to help them rise above status quo. So that's really that, and that changes. That depends on the person. I mean, I know it's kind of a far-reaching ideological thing to say. I get that. But we've also been there and seen that. We've seen that in disaster-stricken areas in Houston, with hurricanes a couple years ago, with Hurricane Maria, with the earthquake in Puerto Rico. We've been to a lot of these areas and seen a lot of the devastation. And having these kinds of products powering that, it really changes their lifestyle a lot, helps them kind of get back to a sense of normalcy, as well as here domestically. We have obviously a lot of natural disasters that happen from time to time. We've got the fire season approaching in California. It's got a lot of the folks there concerned with rolling blackouts and everything like that. And then also just the fall hurricane season that always hits the southeast. So it really helps move society forward.
Yeah. So okay, now on to the fun stuff. We're here to talk about Flex, and we are so proud and excited about this product. Proud of this product, not anyway. And we want the top 3 reasons that we are excited about this product is, number 1, it is the most versatile, adaptable, portable solar energy product. Can we start over?
Yeah.
Is this?
It's not even rolling.
Oh, it's not. We're not. Okay. it's the most versatile there is. You can just adapt it for so many different applications. It's an ecosystem. So what you buy today will work for you for years to come, even as we develop and add new technology, new capabilities to the Flex system. This is something that you're becoming a part of, an ecosystem that is going to go on for years and years and years. And you know, technology develops over time. So and then that's part of the third thing we like about it, is that it not only is going to be compatible with everything we're doing forward, but it's compatible with what we've done in the past. And we felt like that was a really important part of this product. That's something that you don't really have that opportunity with a lot of the other alternatives. So
yeah, I want to take a second on that one. So again, for some of our older customers, I've seen some comments flowing in on Facebook from Kodiak owners that have had our product for maybe 4 or 5 years. For a long time, we wanted to offer a lithium expansion, and then we kept developing. We got the Apex, and now we have the Flex system. And that was kind of the beauty of this power platform, was offering something that was backwards compatible with all of our historical customers and giving them the lithium expansion that they wanted, while also being forward thinking enough with our future products, so we're able to be innovative and keep it, you know, relevant as we innovate and go further. That was a major focus for this product launch.
Yep. All right. So let's jump into the questions we've been getting. We've gotten a bunch over the last couple of weeks, and it looks like, wow, we have got a lot already. That's great. Thank you everyone for checking in. Let's see. Sandra Zasek, I hope I'm saying you're right. Is that my Flex back there? She's probably looking at all the boxes back there.
We wish.
We wish it was. It's coming though.
We totally wish.
Everything. So David Black, right above Sandra, he's asking, are we still on track for October shipping?
Yeah. Yep. Still on track. Nothing has happened yet that makes us question that. So.
Perfect. Okay. William, we're going to work on that for you. I'm going to make a note that we're going to check in on that. That we will get back to you on that. Arlo Bailey is asking, what would it take to run my air conditioner for a Class A motorhome?
I'm not familiar enough with different motorhomes to say like different classes of motorhomes. I'm not a motorhome user, so I wouldn't be able to answer that specifically. Although I can tell you in general terms, the easiest way to find out is going to look at what the power consumption is of that individual AC unit. Then that changes depending on, you know, which motorhome you have, even within the same class, I would imagine, because there's a huge variety of AC units with different power consumption realities. So find out your power consumption of that, and then just do the simple arithmetic, just the simple division of battery capacity, you know, divided into what the wattage consumption is of that AC unit. I know that's probably not the answer you were hoping for. You're probably looking for something a little more specific, and we'd be happy to work with you on that over the phone if you could give us a call. But in general, that's how you find those answers. So.
Yep. So all right. Thanks, Jared. Let's see. Oh man, there's so many. We're gonna have to rip through this here.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, we already answered that one. What is the difference between the 1500, Flex 1500, and the Flex DC? Well, the Flex DC is a DC only power console. When you pair it with a Flex battery, you have the Flex DC power station. Because it's DC only, you don't have to worry about an inverter. That makes the Flex DC lighter in weight, but it also has, how much are we? 50% more DC amps than regulated DC amps than the Flex 1500. So for you DC users, the Flex DC is really going to be ideal.
Yeah, I think the easiest, just kind of, you know, expound off of that. A lot of folks don't need the inverter, and so why pay for one? And that's why we made the Flex DC. If you don't need a 1500 watt inverter, if you just need something little, like even a 300 watt inverter, which we have one of these right here. If you need something just small like that, you don't need to pay for that big inverter. You could get the Flex DC. You get more more DC outlets. You also get more regulated DC power. So if you're a DC only user, maybe have a small AC needs, you'll save a little bit of money, a little bit of weight, and then you can just get like a small AC inverter like this to power your needs, and it'll save you a little bit of cash. So.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good one that we have been getting across multiple channels lately. Does the Flex Power 220, 240 volt appliances?
Good question. No. This is a 110, 120 device, so the inverter is only rated for 110 to 120 volts AC. It's not a 220, 240 product. So we have worked on that in the past. I do imagine we'll be doing that with the Flex going forward for our international audience. But again, I think it's important to say that in the US, when you're talking about 220, 240 volt appliances, you're talking about really, really big power appliances and power needs. It's probably not going to be able to supply that. Now, internationally, where most of the rest of the world uses 220, 240, it's a lot more, common power needs, where a future console like that would be handy. As of right now, today, no, it's just a 110, 120.
Yep. So this is one that I haven't heard before. This is good. Can I connect? So this person is saying, I'm trying to minimize the height of my system, probably maybe for like a van build, or they have a compact space where they want to put their system. And they say, can I connect a Flex battery to the Flex 1500 power console without stacking them? Maybe with some sort of cable?
I'm looking for that question.
That's right at the bottom of the blue.
Got it.
A little further down, right there.
Okay.
The last blue one.
Trying to minimize the height of the system. Can I connect a Flex battery, a Flex 1500 power console without stacking them? Not currently, but we could create a cable that would do that if that's a big enough need.
Yeah.
So I would say, as it's designed today, no. In the future, yeah, that's a possibility. If it's a big enough need, we'll definitely answer it. But I would say for the 99.9% of our customers, that's not going to be a concern. And the Flex isn't designed that way. But if that's a big enough need, we could address it.
Okay. Do I need a branch MC4 connector to hook up Ascent panels? So if you're, just to refresh you, Ascent panel is our new briefcase panel. It's a 100-watt panel that you can connect that has MC4 connectors. So, do I need a branch MC4 connector to hook up Ascent panels to the Apex or Kodiak, and will you be selling one?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. You would need a branch connector if you wanted to connect more than one Ascent panel. So the Ascent panel does have MC4 connectors, which is designed to be a series connector. And with the Apex or the Kodiak, it does not accept high voltage. So for that reason, you'd be limited to either one Ascent panel to a Kodiak or Apex natively, with just either a Nutric to MC4 adapter in the case of a Kodiak, or an EC8 to MC4 adapter in the case of a.
Something just happened to the camera.
Did our camera just go out? Looks like it died.
Oh no. Still have audio, so you're seeing or something?
Okay, well, folks, we're just working on technical difficulties here. Might be better.
Batteries are up here. No, wait. Yep, it's charging.
I'll just start taking some of these questions audio only, so we can. Good call, Gabe. Hook it up to the Flex power station. If only somebody made some kind of a portable power solution, that would be perfect. So anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and start taking some of these questions just audibly only while we're getting the camera powered back up. Ironically enough, the battery died. Definitely a degree of irony there. Okay, can you expand the battery bank with additional deep cycle marine batteries, non-lithium? That's going to be a question directed specifically to the Flex. No, great question. The Flex is designed only for lithium batteries, Inergy lithium batteries, not for use with third-party batteries that are lithium or lead acid, AGM, etc. It's only designed for flex batteries. And the reason that we did that, it's not to try to capture those sales. It's not a force to sale kind of conversation. It's because the flex relies on a signal coming from either an Apex Kodiak or Flex console to power up. It will only work with Inergy lithium products. So, great question there. All right, another question. Let's see.
Video's back up.
Okay, video's back. Okay, hey guys, this is John Moyer asked this question. Hey guys, I pre-ordered a Flex 1500. If I ordered another Flex 1500, is there any way I can connect the two and have a Flex 3000? No. We have got that question several times. So these inverters will not chain together to give you 3,000 watts. You'd only ever have 1,500 watts at any one time, so you cannot connect the inverters together. Good question though. Okay, so back to the MC4 question. So can I connect a branch MC4 connector? Do I need a branch MC4 connector to hook up Ascent panels to the Apex or Kodiak? I answered it for the Apex or Kodiak with just one panel. If you wanted to do multiple panels, you would have to get a branch adapter. It's basically just called an MC4 parallel adapter. That allows you to hook MC4 panels all into parallel together and then into the Apex or Kodiak, which would be required for using it with an Apex or a Kodiak. We do intend on selling those kits very soon, so stay tuned for that. Welcome back, Ted.
Thanks.
Hey,
Sorry,
great job.
I had to stay silent here. I just ran some stairs, so just catching my breath. No, not really. Hey, so we've got some questions here on YouTube. Henry, hey, thanks, man. Sorry about that. I thought Steven had emailed you, but I'm gonna follow up with you right after this. Can you show us an actual Flex 1500 system, not a photo or graphics, and demonstrate how you would load it into a vehicle and transport it with panels for camping? How we would load it into a vehicle.
Yeah, so there's a couple questions there. I think we could tackle the first one, the most obvious one. Can you show us an actual Flex? Yes. Not this week, though. Next week, we'll be able to show you an actual Flex. We'll have one here that we can show you. I say next week, on our next live stream. Depending on how everything works out next week, we may do it next week, or it may take the week after that. But we will be giving a live demonstration of the Flex and walking you through all of that. And then as far as how you load it into a van, I think a lot of those questions are going to stem from airflow. So
Yeah,
a lot of our van life or off-grid folks like to build in a custom cabinet for a Flex, a product like this, whether that's a Kodiak, an Apex, or a Flex. While you can definitely do that and it works great, we recommend it. Just make sure you have enough airflow to give that inverter and the battery room to breathe, because heat is the enemy of all electronics. So we do have some pretty sweet content about van builds and how to kind of install those, so we can give that to you. We can publish that on the blog, but we will show you the Flex on our next stream.
Yep, I'm excited for that. Let's see, I've got there's a note here. Jack Walsh, thanks for letting me know about that, the Living the Van Life channel. We're going to look into that. Escape the Matrix, thank you for your message. Looks like you like glamping. We like glamping too. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. I was laughing about
awesome.
that.
Okay. So here's a good question from Leo Santini. Leo, thank you. What's the... Sorry, that's not the one I was going to read. Where is it? From Henry. Question: how is the Flex better than other turnkey solar generator?
You want to take this one, or you want me to? Just kidding. Okay,
I lost.
I'll take that one. So, how is this different? I'll say, how is it different? Obviously, we think it's better because we're biased, but we'll admit our bias. Our bias is obvious right up front. That said, how our system differs from what you see on the market is its modularity. I know we keep on, beating that drum, but that really is important because with every other system that's out there, you really are limited in your battery capacity and, most importantly, your solar charge capacity. They don't offer expansion modules for both directions. There are companies out there that you may see offer battery expansion, but your charge times just suffer tremendously when you add battery capacity but don't add the opportunity to expand your solar charging capacity. So with the Flex, I think that's really the key difference, is the modular aspect of it, where you can add batteries and then also add solar charge capabilities and keep that matched up to have your system always charge in about 1 hour if you max it out in solar capacity.
Yeah.
So that's first and foremost, and then obviously the second design principle that we've always followed from the beginning is making something as lightweight and portable as possible. We have an internal metric that we use a lot. Just basically it's power per pound or watts per pound. We look at that figure a lot. So we're always watching the landscape and seeing what everybody else's weight compared to their power looks like. We are very aware of that, and we always try to lead that. And so far we always have. We've always led in that metric.
Yeah.
And that's an important one to us, because with our systems, like with a Flex 1500 power station, I'm confident that my 7-year-old at home could pick that system up and move it if she needed to, or an elderly individual that needed to move it for their oxygen concentrator. They'd be able to move this thing very easily, where a fuel-based generator or an alternative product like one of our competitors would be significantly heavier. So that's a really important thing to us.
And just in interest of total, I can't think of the word I want to say. Just openness, transparency. Cody, with the word transparency, like would you agree that from our from Kodiak and Apex, one of the most common, I don't want to say even problems, but one of the most common negative experiences people had with our systems was they bought it and they realized it wasn't enough for what they thought they.
Yeah, absolutely. That happened all the time.
And so with modularity, if you find out that you need more storage, you've got it. If you find out you need it to charge faster, you've got it. And that's, really, we just heard that again and again, and that's why, one major reason why we moved to a modular system.
Yeah, totally agreed.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to take a quick question.
Yeah, you.
So Robert Blanchard asks, I don't fully understand why multiple superchargers are needed when multiple batteries are connected, given that both batteries can be charged from the primary array, not in the supercharger. Can you elaborate? Great question, Robert. So essentially, multiple superchargers are needed because it gives you that opportunity to add extra strings of solar panels to your battery array, if you will, your overall battery capacity, to keep those charge times low. Essentially, if you think of it in terms of the old, bucket of water analogy that's been done to death in power, if you expand the depth of the pool, i.e. battery capacity, by dumping more and more water, making that pool bigger, you're going to need more hoses to fill that thing. And so additional superchargers just give you more hoses to fill the pool. That's probably the easiest way that I can think of to explain that. So it's just essentially matching up your input with what your capacity can now maintain.
Yeah.
If we only allowed one supercharger to add, but you could add 10 batteries, you'd always be limited in your solar charge capacity. By adding additional superchargers, you get that opportunity to add additional strings of solar panels and really, speed that up.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that was one of the better questions we've heard.
Agreed.
Don't you think?
Yes, I agreed. We should give away something.
Yes. Robert, we're going to give you a 300 watt DC to AC inverter. Thank you for that question. That was a great question. If you will DM us our did I say that? Yeah, if you'll give us a direct message, our friend Zane will work things out with you right now, and we'll get you taken care of. Great question. Thank you very much. There's more coming, guys. Keep these really good questions coming. In fact, Sandra, right below Robert, asked a really good one as sort of a clarifying question. And I'm not sure who she's referring to, but was he asking how much weight the handle on the charging unit support, or how many batteries can be attached and carried?
That is a super good question. So we actually haven't addressed that yet.
We haven't.
I don't think we even addressed that in content on our website.
Go.
So that is a blind spot that we've had. So thank you so much for pointing that out. That gets a base camp light. I'm just going to say it right now, because that is a really important question to ask. So the question is, if you've got the Flex power console, whether that's the Flex DC or the Flex 1500, and then you've got how many batteries stacked underneath that, what can the weight of, what can the handle support on the top of that console? So the question there, it can handle 3. So if you want to pick that thing up, you have to restrict yourself to only 3 batteries if you want to tote that thing around by the handle. Now, keep in mind, that's a lot of weight, so I don't anticipate people will be wanting to do that anyway, but if you did, you could. And then if you want to handle more than that, we have a carry strap that we're finalizing right now. That'll come out later in the fall to handle an entire stack of 5 flex batteries plus a power console. So, great question.
You want to plug that in for me?
Yeah.
Don't look directly into the light.
So these USB Basecamp lights are probably like the unsung hero of our company.
These things
we
are
don't
awesome.
sell hardly any of them, and it's always bugged me because I think they're like one of the coolest products that we sell, honestly.
Yeah. Headlight, if you tape it to the brim of your hat.
If you're Ted and you want to
Anywhere.
tape it to your hat, you totally could do that, and it would be amazing.
I actually have a video about that. Check it out on Facebook. These lights are awesome.
Yeah, they are super cool.
They're probably I mean, these inverters are pretty cool, but these are my favorite accessory.
Yeah, totally agreed.
Use
In
them
fact,
so much.
this is kind of a funny side story. My kids love a really bright night light, and they have just like a little USB wall adapter they plug in the room, and they use that as their night light, which is kind of funny because it lights up the entire room.
Yeah, these are
It's
bright.
ridiculously bright.
Thank you, Sandra.
Anyway.
Great one. CJ, do you guys offer military discounts?
We do. Yeah, you bet. What is it? GovX?
Yes, it's on the website. When you do an order, just watch for the GovX link. There's a little button on our product detail page. You can click that, and you're going to be good to go. Okay. How sturdy is the modular connection? How do they clip together and stay together? That's from Nubia Yvette.
So it's essentially, I wish I had one here that I could show you to the point we made earlier, but it's essentially like a sliding C clamp that just actually hooks to the housing or the chassis from the Flex console to the Flex battery. So it's incredibly strong. It's a metal to metal type connection that is fully capable of handling all the weight that you need. So and because we've got it on 2 different planes, it's not going to be something that rattles, wobbles around. It's a really strong connection. So
Do you want to say hi?
oh yeah, my wife is watching. My family at home. Hi Jennifer, Chloe, Autumn, and Everett. So anyway,
All right. If a storm is coming and you want to be at 100%, supercharger gets you there faster. That's not a question, but it is a true statement, Sandra. You can use the supercharger as long as you've got sun before the storm is coming. You can charge one battery as fast as in as little as 1 hour. So that's about as fast as it gets charging these types of batteries.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take one question from Brad. So Brad, he's over on YouTube. He said, how limiting is the 1500 watt inverter? Do you feel it's a nice sweet spot? I want to run a fridge, some lights, and maybe a sump pump if needed. So that's his first question. And then akin to that is, can you ever expand on the 1500 watt inverter or just buy another? So kind of like we've talked about earlier in our live stream, the inverters can't hook together to give you 3000 watts. We are working on bigger systems. In fact, we've had, I don't know how many people so far in this live stream ask us about a larger system. We do have something coming later on. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about that because we don't have it finalized yet. But for the Flex 1500 that we're talking about right now, that really is a sweet spot. Sump pumps tend to pull quite a bit of power. Most of the ones that I've looked at are that are practical for this use are like a 3rd horsepower sump pump, no problem. Those you're looking at like 250 to maybe 375 watts running time or running wattage, so not that bad. You could definitely power that for a couple hours, and then if you add Flex batteries or solar panels, you've got the opportunity to keep that thing going for much longer. So the 1500 watt inverter we chose because it is a sweet spot for most consumer appliances. It's really right around the same power handling as a standard 110 outlet you have in your wall. So for most folks, it's like that great balance of having something that's powerful enough to do a lot of good work if you need it done, like power your fridge for a full day, run lights for quite a while, stuttering over my words here. You could even use it to power a gas furnace. That's actually surprisingly easy to power. You can plug it into a gas furnace and run your heat in a power outage. So the 1500 watt inverter really was a sweet spot for most people. So we felt that did the most good for the most folks.
Awesome. Rhonda Townsend asked a question: is the military good for is the military discount good for retired military? Rhonda, thank you for the question. Thank you for your service. And it looks like Jane Tab answered the question for us. Thanks, Jane.
Thanks, Jane. You're
yes,
awesome.
Absolutely. It is available to retired armed services personnel. Let's see. Transfer switch. Where are you on releasing the details of it? David Black. Should we just tell him?
Should I just go get it?
Let's do it.
I'll go get it.
I'll help you. All right, we built this really cool representation of what it's going to look like.
Okay.
I'll put it on there.
Let's see if that even is that in the camera. Yeah.
We good?
That is a little high.
A little high?
Little high. Okay, let's move it down. Let's just hold it. Okay. No, we're good. So this is the transfer switch. This is a product that we're actually announcing today during this live stream. This will allow you to choose a handful of your favorite circuits on your home electrical panel and use your Apex, Kodiak, or Flex to power them. This does require a licensed electrician to install, but it gives you finally that opportunity to run, I believe it's four circuits off of a portable system like ours. So this is a great way to make sure you can power your home, the circuits that you want, without having to run extension cables everywhere. So this is something that's been in the works for quite some time, and we're super excited. So stay tuned for the website.
Yeah, it's live on the website, and stay tuned in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're gonna have a video of this being installed in my home and using it with my Apex. And then when I get a Flex, we're gonna show another video. But
yep,
there it is.
Let's take it all the way back.
3x3. Yeah, 4x4 is whole big.
Thanks to our team, Ortel, especially for putting that together. So there you go. Transfer switch is here.
Leo, it's only a couple $100. Not a big deal. We'll have it on the website here shortly.
Oh, he was asking what?
Yeah, that's the transfer. He said, how many thousands of dollars is the transfer switch? He asked that question on YouTube. That's super funny.
That's awesome.
It's only a couple $100. It's inexpensive. The install is probably going to cost you more than the product itself, to be honest with you, depending on your electrician. Or if you have that competency yourself, and you want to take that risk, go for it. But it's not an expensive component.
That's a good one.
That is funny.
Joe, okay. You see Joe Douglas's question here? I'll give you a little time to think about that one. We're going to come back to it.
Sure.
Okay. All right, Kathy. I ordered the Flex 1500 and 2 batteries. Oh, we just kind of addressed that, but Kathy Schofield ordered the Flex 1500 and 2 batteries. How heavy will that be to carry around with the handle hold that weight? Will the handle hold that weight? Yes.
Yeah.
And did you mention it was somewhere, how many pounds was that?
I didn't. I'd have to get the calculator out and add it up.
Yeah. All right, we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll put it in the responses so we're not delaying.
Yeah, you can do the math also on the website. The weights are all there. But we'll get you that answer.
Let's take Joe's question right now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's handle it.
Joe Douglas.
Where's he at, on Facebook? YouTube?
He's on Facebook.
Okay, Joe Douglas, we're answering your question. Go ahead and ask it.
Sorry. By discontinuing both Kodiak and Apex, are you admitting you made a product that wasn't good?
Another way of answering that question is in the form of another question. If Apple makes an iPhone 10 and then an iPhone 11, are they admitting the 10 wasn't a good product? Absolutely not. In this kind of category, technology is always progressing, and we're always growing as a company, and we're always looking for new innovative technologies to use. And so that's just kind of the natural progression in the technology sector. Things always change. Things progress and adapt. The Apex led a good life. The Kodiak led a good life. and we want to be known for innovation, so we're always working on new products. We don't want to be a stale company that gets boring because we're just not innovating further. So,
Yeah.
and that's honestly why I think the Flex platform is so important in this conversation, because it is an ecosystem. It is a power platform that gives you opportunities for multiple products, multiple accessories, you know, and that retroactive use as well as the proactive use for new products we come out with in the future. So,
yeah. Derek Sains is back. Derek, it's good to see you. Do you have a car charger? Do we have a car charger? Yes, we do.
yes, we do. In fact, I believe it's on the website already.
Yep.
It's live now. So.
Yeah, it's the same car charger that they can use with the Apex, correctly?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I said correctly. CJ, good question here. Can the new system be used as a mobile jump starter for cars?
No.
Yeah. No?
No. The discharge rate to jumpstart a car is a super significant heavy hit. So for that reason, it would really negatively impact these lithium batteries. These are not meant for a discharge rate that's that high. So we definitely wouldn't recommend jump starting your vehicle with it, with either the Kodiak Apex or the Flex.
Yep.
They're high discharge lithium polymer jumper packs you can see. In fact, I actually bought one from Costco, I think a week ago, that was like $60. They're really small, really lightweight, and they're great for even starting diesel pickups. So that's a better, opportunity for doing that than one of our products would be. So.
Yep. Okay, here's a good question from James Herrera. Someone might have asked already, how many batteries does the supercharger charge?
How many batteries does the supercharger charge? So that is a good question. The right answer for that is going to be you have to make sure you're pairing your superchargers with your batteries and not exceeding that number. So if you add 2 Flex batteries, you have the opportunity to add 2 superchargers. You don't want to add more superchargers than you have batteries. First of all, it's against our warranty. You would void your warranty. That'd be a really bad thing. But it also do a lot of damage to the batteries. So just keep that with a 1-to-1 ratio and you'll be fine. Now it's also worth noting, you may not need a supercharger depending on the size of of what your needs are. Because remember, that supercharger gives you 2 more solar input strings. And that's each string can have up to 4, well, I guess it can have, a lot of panels if they're in parallel. But that's a lot of solar panels. So kind of keep that in mind. One supercharger may be sufficient for up to 3, 4, 5 batteries, depending on your needs. But that's the easiest way to answer that question, I think. So
yeah. Okay, Mitzi Morse. I like this question because I'm not sure I know the answer. I bet you will. But Mitzi asked, can you hook a Flex battery to only the supercharger and the solar panels and charge it?
Yeah.
Or does the inverter have to be connected? It does not.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely connect just the supercharger to a battery and let it go.
So Mitzi's doing some thinking here because she goes further and she says, basically, I can be using the inverter with an already charged battery and have one outside charging, so inside, so she's got it inside using it with a charged battery, and have another one outside charging with solar with the supercharger.
Yep, absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Actually, that's a cool use case.
And actually, to go further beyond that, because these Flex batteries auto balance, you could have Flex batteries charging in multiple different ways in multiple different locations at different states of charge, connect them all at the same time and have one big system and they'll all equalize.
Oh, yeah.
So if you had, for instance, if you had a Flex 1500 power station inside charging by a wall charger, you had a Flex battery out charging in a car, and then you had another array using a supercharger out in the yard or something like that, and they were all at different charge levels, you can bring all those batteries together, put them on that system, and it will auto balance, and you'll be able to use that system immediately from all those different charge sources. So
nice. That's really cool.
Hey, John Moyer wants to know if you're related to Drew Carey.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. He actually dressed up as Drew Carey for Halloween this last year. So, John, that's a good question.
I think John gets a light just for embarrassing me. John, I can't tell you how often I get that. And it's not something I'm proud of. I'd like to say it's not the, I'm the Price is Right Drew Carey when he got all, skinny and stuff and he got hair plugs. But no, I'm the Drew Carey show Drew Carey. So thanks, man. Just made my day. Did you make that up? Did you?
No, it's on Facebook. That's what's so funny about this.
All right, you got me. No, it's true. I really do look like him. It sucks. Okay, there's a good one here. All right, there's a good one here. Where is it? Okay, I got it. So somebody sent this in during, or I think the week before last. He said, "What are some of the most important things to look for when selecting a portable power system?"
Is that a question for me?
That's a question for you.
Okay. Let me go to that question.
I can chime in on that. I'm gonna say a couple of things, and then I'm sure Jared will have to expound on them because that's just usually how we work.
He's not wrong.
Look at their phone number. And
Right.
look at their website.
Right. Yeah, it's this industry is a wash.
That's one aspect.
Yeah, this whole industry is a wash with foreign companies that are trying to sell directly to U.S. Customers, and that is problematic for a ton of different reasons. Minimally support, and maximally if you're looking at even if you're getting a quality product, is it what it purports to be? How do you get your warranty? How do you get that post-sale support? There's so much that goes into that. So I had to jump in there because I'm passionate about that one. Sorry, Ted.
Yeah, I am too. I think a lot of people are getting into things. Anyway, we're not here to talk about or drag anybody else down. But,
yeah, right.
If the phone number starts with a plus symbol,
you know what you're dealing with.
Know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
What about battery cells? That's another thing that you should probably be aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to make sure that if you're looking at a portable power station like this, that they're using branded solar. They're using branded battery cells. So kind of like the thing that's surprising, I think, to a lot of folks is that companies like ours or our competition, we don't make our own batteries. No one makes their own batteries in this industry. We select from industry leaders to use their batteries in our products. There's a lot of good reasons for that. So if you look at if you're looking at the industry overall, I would say that probably a third of the companies out there use branded lithium battery cells. And when you use a branded, like we use LG cells, for instance, if you use branded battery cells, there's a lot of safeties that come with that. There's a tried and true, track record that you can rely on. In fact, the cells that we use, I've talked about this a lot. NASA has vetted the LG cells that we use for use in their applications. That's why we selected it. So getting a branded battery cell gives you a lot of knowns, and nobody in this industry makes their own. So if they're not touting that it's a branded cell, if they're not saying this is an LG cell, this is a Panasonic cell, this is a Samsung cell, if they're not touting that, it's because they're using a generic battery cell from an unknown manufacturer with an unknown safety track record, an unknown, performance record. Lots of questions there.
Yeah. Now, I heard you talk about a question from a Brad earlier, and I had already moved on trying to find the next question. Was that the question that you had already answered from Brad?
No, I answered a different one. Different one.
I think this is a good one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Brad GB, you're all over it today. What would be great is have the expandable battery bank, and you could switch out inverter heads between 1500 or 3K. Would be cool if you could use the same battery supercharger but different heads. How do we want to answer that one?
I'm going to scroll up to that question so I can reread it.
Okay.
Okay, would be great if...
Yeah, that's a second.
Switch out inverter heads between
again.
1500 to 3K. Would be cool if you could use the same battery supercharger but different heads. Yeah, I think that question is just akin to, are you going to have more power consoles for the Flex ecosystem? The answer to that question is yes. As far as what sizes those are going to be, we're not going to talk too much about that right now because we're still in pre-sale on the Flex.
Yeah.
So the Flex 1500. So that said, yes, we do intend on releasing more power consoles for this ecosystem. As far as what power ratings those are going to be, that's still to be decided. So.
Yep. Okay. Good question here from Jeff Rummel. So you stay under 90 volts, you can hook up 3 170 watt solar panels in series.
And then Jeff, that question that's from YouTube. Jeff asked that question.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for that question, Jeff. So it really depends. I could do some math really quick. 170 watt panels, as long as they're, let's see, a 9.4 amp panel is a little bit large. If you could find that in a 12 volt variant, I'd be surprised. That's probably going to be more of like a 24 volt panel. And if you had 24 volt panels, yeah, you'd be right at the maximum there. So what I would recommend would be to look at the VOC rating on the back of that panel. That's going to be voltage open circuit, and make sure that's under that 90 volt threshold before you make your purchase. But if they're 24 volt panels, you're right at that edge. So it'd be best to do 12 volt panels. So it depends on the individual panel. Some of these 24 volt panels can be off by 2 to 3 volts. So
yeah. So Dave Langston, he's not asking a question, but he makes a good point. Something I want to call out that we haven't mentioned. I don't know that we've mentioned it before. Anyway, Dave says heading to Quake Lake to film using the power system for our cameras. Great products. Okay, thanks, Dave. Thanks for the shout out. We think they're great too. But so that's a really good use case. We know several production crews that take an Apex out with them. They use it to power lights. They use it to power certain lights. They've got LED packages. They use it to charge batteries. They use it, to charge phones and to power laptops while they're editing or downloading images off of their cameras. So that's a really good use if you're a photographer and you want to be mobile and you want to be able to power everything. That's another really great use case.
So Monkey Savant on YouTube, he's getting some love from some of the other people that are saying keep asking. So yeah, we're getting inundated with questions on both platforms, so it takes us a little bit. Sorry for that, but we'll get to it. So your question was, will you two ever do some demonstrations with the Flex and the components? Yes, our next live stream will actually be demonstrating the Flex. So we'll have the power consoles and batteries here, and we'll be demonstrating them live for you guys. So absolutely, our next live stream will have that. Akin to that, there was another question. Brad asked another one. This is one that I think it's worth answering every time we do one of these live streams. So Brad asked or said, I read that your older models said they were 1500 watts, but they were capped at 550 watts discharge rate. Is the Flex subject to this? So we love this question because there's a lot of misinformation that got published out there and just kind of went viral without Russ really having like a chance to really address it. So I'll address it again for the sake of this live stream. So there was a specification. It was actually on both the Kodiak and the Apex, which most people weren't talking about, but it was the same specification for both the Kodiak and the Apex, and it was a spec that we had listed in there that the battery had a suggested discharge rate of 550 watts. It was an 1100 watt hour battery, and if you ran it at 550 watts for 2 hours, you get the full capacity. Now, that specification was a suggestion to give you the best case scenario for not only your longevity of the battery, to keep your battery life up to that 2,000 cycle limit that we also said the Apex and the Kodiak could perform to, as well as getting the full capacity of your battery. Any battery under the sun, there's no battery that's exempt from this. If you discharge them faster, you will not get the full capacity. Now, lithium batteries are way better than lead acid batteries at performing under those conditions, but even lithium batteries are affected. So with that rating, we were trying to say, hey, if you want to get the full capacity out of this battery, number one, and number two, get the life expectancy out of the battery, you're going to want to keep that at about a 550 watt discharge rate. Now, the inverter, that's a whole separate specification. The Apex and the Kodiak were rated for a 1500 watt peak power inverter, and the Flex is 1500 watts continuous. The reason for that, we heard loud and clear from our customers that they wanted to be able to drain these things as fast as the inverter would let them do it. So the Flex has completely addressed that. It will run 1500 watts continuously for up to 80% of that battery's capacity. So you won't have any of those limitations that we'd put on the Kodiak or the Apex to maximize life expectancy. In other words, if you want that opportunity and that capability, the Flex gives it to you. Now, there's obviously going to be a consequence of that in terms of, you know, lower battery life cycles. And there's actually a question earlier in this stream about what constitutes a life cycle. And a life cycle is, in a lithium product, is discharge from 100% to 0 and then back up. So 100%, 0, 100%. That is one life cycle, or one battery cycle. And then we rate the batteries depending on, you know, on life cycles, depending on usage. So anyway.
So another, if I may,
go ahead.
Another example of a, I'm going to try to get this right, of a battery life cycle could be like 100% to 80%, charge back up to 100% to 20%. That would be a full cycle.
No, it's a full cycle, so those would add up.
They would add up between
Correct.
the two of them. They would equal.
Yeah.
A full
So
cycle.
if you did 20% 5 times, that's one life cycle.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. You know, I think we ought to give Brad something.
Yeah, let's do it. Brad's been super active, so let's get him one of those USB based camp lights.
Okay. Thanks, Brad.
Brad, GB, YouTube. That one's gonna actually. If you could email us, that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it, because I don't think that there's a way to direct message us on YouTube. But if you could just email us info@energysolar.com, send us your address, and we'll send you one of these USB based camp lights. They're awesome. You're going to love it.
Okay. Are you on YouTube?
I am.
What about that?
Let's see. No.
All right. Leo, is one supercharger good with 2 batteries? Yes. He wants one of the light bulbs. $30 light bulbs. Leo, you're awesome, man. Yes, one supercharger is good with 2 batteries. One supercharger is good with 96 batteries if you want. That the most, or the minimum for one supercharger is 1 battery, but you can use a supercharger to charge any number in a stack.
If you wanted to have your own solar farm and you wanted to do 96 superchargers and have 90, what would that be? 96 times 2 solar strings in addition to the one on the I mean, it's a pretty staggering number. Be like 200 solar strings. If you wanted to do that, you could do that.
And in ideal sun conditions, you would charge all of those batteries.
It'd probably be a little bit more than an hour because there's a little bit of a leftover. It's like an hour and change when you add up.
Hour and change.
But it would be, you'd have your own solar farm. So,
yeah, maybe one day, like years down the road, we should do a video of 96 batteries out of inventory for a video. Anyway, great question.
And Brad, I totally understand. If I invest with a bunch of batteries and a supercharger, I want to be able to use future power supplies that is fully integrated. That's a big deal. We absolutely agree. And that's why this is a power platform. So future-proofing it, we don't want this to be invalid in a matter of, a year. That's not what we're going to do with this platform. So,
David, I just got to call out what David Black just said. We've been over on YouTube, so I didn't see this for a minute. But David Black just said, I know you want to give me something, but give mine to the military veteran.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yep.
Jeff, quick answer to your question on YouTube. So the VOC is 22.6 volts. 3 panels are totally okay. Yeah. 22.6 volt open circuit rating. That's a 12 volt panel. Totally fine to put 3 of those in series. No problem at all.
Gabe, if that ever happens, I'm going to let you know, okay? If we actually do the video. All right. So, there was a question. There was one more. There was more of a statement. Jeff Rummel, I wanted to let you know, back on YouTube, he says, he's talking about some rich solar panels, 12 volts, 170 max. He could put, earlier he was talking about putting 3 of those in series with the Flex. That'd be no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
They're 12 volt panels.
And actually, Annie on Facebook has a very similar question. 88. So I just checked the VOC of my 4 panels, and it totals 88.2 volts. Is this too close to 90 volts? No, you're totally fine. You're well within specification there. In fact, that's the most efficient charging you can get out of the system. So no problem there at all.
Brian Scott asked the question: Is the Flex compatible with other batteries, such as Battleborn lithium? Not plugging Battleborn, he says. It's okay. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It is not compatible.
No.
Different chemistry. Battleborn's lithium iron phosphate.
Yeah, and they're targeting more of that lead acid voltage range. That's kind of what they're trying to do, is off-shelf lead acid products, and this is lithium NMC voltage ranges are a little bit lower, so it's not compatible with third-party lithium products.
Jeff Rummel asked to follow up if the VOC is 22.6 volts, 3 panels are okay.
Yeah, totally fine.
Okay. All right. Man, I think we're starting to get caught up here. Do you have?
Yeah, I think we're about caught up. Any other questions out there that anybody wants to throw in before we end this?
Did we answer the one? Did you see the one on Facebook from Annie?
Yeah, I just answered that one.
Okay,
So
sorry.
that one's good.
I was looking at other questions. 3 strings of 400 watts each in series using supercharger.
3 strings of 400 watts each in series using. So I'll answer that question. So if you had 3 strings of 400 watts each in series, I see where he's going with this. So the supercharger gives you 2 more solar inputs. You could do three strings at 400 watts, and then the the power console itself also has another solar input. So that gives you that third one. So a power console has 1 solar input, and then the supercharger adds 2 more for a total of 3. Yeah. So if you bought like a power station that had 1 console, 1 battery, then you added a supercharger, you would technically have 3 solar inputs.
Yep. Okay. All right, we did get a few more. AC fast charger, question mark, Gabe. Gabe Bell asked if we have an AC fast charger. Yes, we do. 225
Yeah,
watts.
225 watts. Yep.
So that will charge a flex battery. Come on, man. I just suck at math.
1,069 divided by 225.
Yeah. There you go.
Plus a little bit because it slows down at the top end for what's called the stadium effect. So 1,069 divided by 225, 4.75. Give it 5 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. I should know that off the top of my head. Derek, we're gonna give you a light because you reminded us of something that we're supposed to mention.
Derek Sains. You're talking
Sains.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Derek Sains. DM us. That's what all the cool kids say now, right? DM us.
Mention your battery warranty, guys. Duh. Of course we got to mention our battery. For a limited time only, during the pre-sale, for a limited time only, we are giving a no BS 10-year battery warranty. What does that mean, Jared?
So oftentimes you see a lot of these companies that are offering supposed lifetime warranties, but it's for the lifetime of the product, not the lifetime of the individual that's purchasing it, which is just kind of a cloak and daggers, smoke and mirrors kind of situation. So for us, we're calling this the 10-year no BS battery warranty. So if you pre-order now, and like Ted said, this is an expiring offer. So this is not an unlimited thing that's going to be running as long as you're in the pre-order. So for right now, if you secure your pre-order with a deposit, you get a 10-year full battery replacement warranty. We call it the no BS battery warranty. As long as your product wasn't neglected or abused, the battery itself will replace that battery for 10 years. So let's just say you're using that thing like every single day, and your battery wears out in 4.5 years.
Yeah.
If you just depleted the cycle life of it, that's no problem. We'll replace that battery. I can't overstate how good of an offer that is, because you can really use these things actively and get full value out of it. So it's a temporary offer. Take advantage of it.
Awesome. Thank you. So here's a good one that I missed. Bob Penoski. Can I plug in my DeWalt 20-volt battery charger in this unit and charge my batteries?
Yeah, heck yeah. No problem at all.
It's a very good use.
I'm gonna take a second to talk about that.
Okay.
So he asked about the 20. The reason is probably because it's 20 volts.
Okay.
So all those power tools that are, because in fact I've got a 60-volt leaf blower that I use all the time from a company named Greenworks. They work awesome, but it's a much higher voltage, so it sounds like it wouldn't work. But they have an AC wall charger. Just plug that into the front on the inverter on the Flex 1500. It'll work no problem. So I do that. In fact. Personal story, I actually mowed my lawn one entire summer using power from the Kodiak. It was kind of funny because I'd had to use solar panels to charge up the Kodiak. The Kodiak powered my battery-powered lawnmower, and I mowed my lawn for an entire summer using solar power. So it wasn't easy, but I did it.
That's pretty cool. Man, they just keep coming. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna take maybe a couple of more questions. If we don't get your question answered during this, tune in to the next one, but we'll also post some answers in the comments as well.
I'm gonna take. Oh,
Go
you
for
taking
it.
one?
No, you go for it.
Okay, Andrew. This is so funny. Andrew Bradford over on Facebook said, 4th attempted question. Please answer, pretty please. Have you guys tested a wind turbine with the system, and could you recommend one?
Okay.
No, we have not tested one, but I'm going to take that responsibility on personally. So, Andrew, if you can email me, jared@energysolar.com, or you could send us your email address in our direct messages on Facebook, I will report back to you. So we actually have a few that we've been looking at, have not tested them yet, and I'll take that action item myself and get that done for you. So I know you've been wanting that done for some time now, and I'll make it happen.
You're going to get a bazillion emails now.
I am. That's okay.
It's okay. They're our
That's
customers.
okay.
We love
Yeah.
them. Okay. When is the next live stream? Sandra, plan on it week after next. And as we get a little bit closer, we'll know for sure. But it'll be the week after next week. Probably not next Friday.
Yeah, probably not next Friday. It'll probably be shortly thereafter.
Yeah. Do you? Oh, well, that's a long one. We're gonna answer this one about the 0.0 Titan next time. Those are really nice people. We know them.
Yeah,
Right,
0.0 is great
they're
people.
pretty cool people. Man, they're coming in fast, but we gotta wrap it up. I'm sorry, guys. Andrew's question there. Let me go back to to YouTube. Nope, no new questions on YouTube. On your previous stream, Harold Wong, thanks Harold. On your previous stream, you said not to keep the Flex connected to power for 24/7 charging. Is the 10-year warranty still valid if I'm charging 24/7? Ooh. That just put ourselves on the spot there.
Yeah, that did. That's a good question.
It's not a great way to treat your
it's not a
battery.
great way to treat it, and it's not like a safe way to store it either. Like the best case scenario, well, I shouldn't say it's not unsafe, but it's not ideal. So I would say no, that's not an exclusion of the warranty, but it wouldn't be what we would recommend for sure. So
yeah, not just from what it does to the battery, but like you said, for safety purposes. Okay, well, wow. I keep thinking when we do these things that, okay, well, the questions aren't going to come in quite as much as they did last time. You guys are awesome. We're so thankful. And Jared has said this every time at the end. I'm going to say it this time, and Jared you can chime in if you want. But when you support this product with a deposit, when you guys are putting a lot of trust in us, and we know that, and that means a ton to us. I just want to say thank you for that. We're gonna take care of you. You are gonna love the Flex system, and it's gonna be the state of the art. So
yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Nothing to add.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. You guys are awesome. We're gonna be back in, like I said, week after next. We will be dropping at least one more Easter egg at that time, along with showing you the actual Flex system, and that is going to be exciting. So take care of yourselves, be safe, and thanks again for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.